A couple of things continue to rise in Nepal despite all adversities. By the way, Mount Everest, the world's tallest peak, is not one of them. The rising Nepal daily continues to rise every morning. Several media houses have been facing inclement weather. They have been witnessing plummeting advertisement revenues, plummeting profits in the wake of international tensions, whether it's the Russia Ukraine war, Israel Palestine war, the continuing hostilities between the world's superpower, that is the United Nations, the United States, and the emerging superpower, that is China, and several other factors. The rise of the new media also means that the print media is on the way out, but of course, this does not apply to the all powerful The Rising Nepal, which has been in circulation uh, for about 50 or so years. Other media houses, other media channels are not as lucky as The Rising Nepal. But today's topic goes beyond the state run propaganda machines. Today, let's talk once again about TikTok. More specifically, let's talk about the government ban on TikTok in Nepal. This means all's not TikTok with TikTok. TikTok, by the way, means everything's all right in Nepali. And I think TikTok is the variant of the Nepali word TikTok, as you can just read and know that nothing is all right with TikTok in Nepal. Everything is going against TikTok, this hugely popular social media platform that has, per media reports, around 37 lakh users in Nepal itself. Nepal has a population of around 3 crores, and there are 37 lakh TikTok users in Nepal. A sizable population that means is hooked to this Chinese app. Nepal has been hogging the international limelight after this TikTok ban, as if the mega earthquake, the 6.4 magnitude earthquake that rocked Jajarkot and West Rukum districts in mid-western Nepal, killing around 160 people and injuring thousands of people and causing losses to the tunes of billions of rupees were not enough. Before enforcing that ban against TikTok, the government had come up with social media guidelines. It was a long list of what you call the not to do things. the not to do list, if you will. It prohibited posting of objectionable contents, that was all right, sexually explicit content, uh, child sex stuffs, that kind of objectionable contents, uh, falsification of information, cyberbullying, imposting, uh, sexually explicit content, and activities like cheating through social media came under that purview of the ban. But just right after issuing that guideline meant to govern, to curb, to regulate the social media platforms, the government decided to ban TikTok. This came, it had been in the making all along, it appears. First, there was some objectionable video from a leader of the ruling CPN Maoist Center, what you call the Young Communist League leader, a young uh, Communist League leader had posted some objectionable content on that social media platform, that is TikTok. And citing similar such instances, the government read what you call the Riot Act and banned TikTok. The government chose a very convenient way. In fact, it should have bothered to regulate social media, the social media platform, TikTok in this instance. It should have bothered to discipline the users. It should have bothered the TikTok to bring it under the tax net of the government. It should have taken TikTok to task for giving space to objectionable materials, materials that maligned people, uh, materials with sexual, uh, sexually explicit materials, materials that contents that falsified information and misled people, materials that upset social harmony. But it just issued a blanket ban against the social media app, a hugely popular social media app, instead of bringing it under the purview of the law. It took the easiest course of action. What was the ground for banning the social media app? The main accusation TikTok faced was that it was disturbing social harmony, as headlines in national and international media suggest. Of course, anarchy has been reigning supreme in social media platforms in Nepal. A huge section of the population has been hooked to social media, and it has been misusing. There have been several instances of misuse of social media platforms. It was natural for the government to get concerned, to be concerned with such materials. But is this blanket ban the way to just deal with social media in this day and age of innovation and creation, that kind of thing in this cyber economy has been thriving at this day and age. And for several people, uh, thousands of people, these social media platforms provide bread and butter as well. As for TikTok, it had been hogging the limelight for all the wrong reasons. But this app was also, it had been quite handy for small traders like those people, uh, bakers, uh, food makers, like those people who would prepare, cook food for a small section of the population and market those products, sell those products, maybe like honey farmers, and then small traders like uh, clothing store owners. These people would just make small videos and post them on TikTok, thereby just attracting customers without having to pay for advertisement and whatnot. Also, uh, it had become a platform to voice your dissent. It had transformed into a platform through which you could take the government, the bureaucracy to task. It had become a forum to just bring out, to expose the anomalies of the state, irregularities, political instability, corruption. It had become that means to expose corruption, expose malpractices, expose the breakdown of rule of law, etc. But with a single stroke of a pen, the government decided to ban TikTok. It took a huge toll. It has taken a huge toll on civil liberties. It has impinged on the people's right to expression, the people's right to dissent. It has curbed uh, this freedom of expression. For several people, unorganized lot, the politically neutral lot, social media platforms have become a perfect platform to express their views, to take the government to task, to take the state to task, to expose corruption, to expose instability, to expose uh, the underperformance of the political system and uh, the political leadership and bureaucracy. This decision to come down heavily on TikTok, this decision to muzzle a social media platform has not been taken well. People have not taken this government move positively. Several of these users have taken this matter to the Supreme Court of Nepal. They have moved the Supreme Court of Nepal against the government ban on TikTok. TikTok had been, as I told you earlier, hogging the limelight for all the several wrong reasons, but it had also played a crucial role in promoting Nepal as a tourist destination. The users would go to visit nooks and crannies of this country and just come up with those marvelous pictures, videos of touristic attractions lying on those distant corners of Nepal. That had been like that move had been playing a key role in promoting Nepal as a tourist destination. As I told you earlier, TikTok had a tremendous role in the promotion of small businesses for several people, for maybe thousands of people. It had become a source of livelihood. But the government ban means the government ban means uh, that is the government ban is akin to denying those people the right to livelihood, and it is also an act of a government trampling on the right to free expression, uh, a government trampling on civil liberties. The government has stated that several democratic countries have imposed a similar ban on TikTok. Around more than 150 countries have imposed a partial or blanket ban on TikTok. So the government has been trying to justify its move, citing these examples from abroad. The ban also comes at a time when there is a showdown between the pro-monarchist forces and uh, other parties are also on the cards. These forces, under the leadership of Durga Prasai, are planning to hit the streets of Kathmandu 3 days later to show their strength. Their stated objective is the revival of the institution of monarchy. The CPN-UML, under its youth leader Mahesh Basnet, has been stating that they will hit the streets against that protest. A kind of showdown looms, and there are rumors that the Kathmandu Valley, Kathmandu may be subjected to curfew. A curfew may be imposed in Kathmandu to avert uh, clashes between these groups. This ban also precedes the protests from rival groups. Also, some analysts see it as the reflection of uh, conflict, heightened tensions between the United States and China. TikTok is a Chinese app, and this ban is being seen as an instance of trade rivalry between the United States and China. By the way, this misuse of social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, uh, Instagram is also rife. These platforms also have objectionable contents, but the government has decided to single out TikTok and ban it altogether. Impartial, like independent people with no leanings on either side, are uh, not taking this move has not gone well among the people who are not on either side of the divide. What should the government do in this context? The Supreme Court will have a crucial role in settling this conflict, obviously. the Supreme Court will just come up with its ruling on this on these petitions against the TikTok ban shortly. I think so. Things will clear out after the Supreme Court verdict. But this ban, don't you think that this ban on TikTok shows that the government is always bent, whether it's a democratic government, whether it's tin pot dictatorship, the government of every hue and color, the government of every hue and shade is it does not miss an opportunity to trample on civil liberties. Don't you think? What's your reading on this Nepal government ban on TikTok? We would like to know. We would like to hear from you. I request you to comment on this presentation, subscribe to this channel, and press that like button if it touches your hearts and minds. Of course, we would like to hear your views on the TikTok ban. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.